Welcome back. Today we're in First Corinthians chapter number 2. I hope each and every one of y'all are having a great day so far. Thank you so much for listening. Hey, in these opening verses of chapter 2, the Apostle Paul really kind of just is open and honest, and it's amazing to me what he tells them in terms of, it's almost like he's saying, hey, I'm not a very good preacher. I'm not trying to be a very good preacher. I'm not trying to be impressive for my own benefit. No, I'd rather make an impression for the benefit of the cause of Christ. Now, as I read these verses and thought about that, and as a preacher, there's one thing that I don't think any preacher wants to be known for, and that is, well, he's not a very good preacher. That's not a reputation that I think any of us are really striving for. But when you look at what the Apostle Paul is saying here, and when he gets down to verse 5 of chapter 2, he says, listen, I'm concerned that your faith should not be in the wisdom of men, but I want your faith to be in the power of God. And you know what I think Paul is saying, where he may be a little different than myself or other preachers that I know? Paul is saying, I know I'm not that great. I'm not trying to be great, but I want to tell you about the great one. And it's almost like he's saying, I'm glad that my preaching does not really impress you, because I don't want to be about me. I don't want you to walk out of the room and say, boy, Paul is great. Paul is awesome. I've never heard anybody or met anybody or encountered anybody quite like Paul. Paul is something else. Paul says, no, if I've done that, I've missed the goal, I've missed the mark, and your faith and your hope and your trust and your future and all of eternity doesn't need to hang on how impressive you are, have been with Paul, with me. He's saying you need to have your hope, your faith, and your trust in the power of God. That's why in verse 2 he says, I've determined not to know anything among you except Jesus Christ and him crucified. I was with you in weakness, in fear, and in much trembling, and my speech and my preaching were not with persuasive words of human wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power. He's saying it's not about my power. It's not about my might or strength. It's not about what I can do. I can't save anybody. I can't change anybody. Don't have your hope, faith, and trust in me. Don't do it. It's all about Jesus. Put your faith in him. Christ crucified, the hope of glory, resurrected on the third day with a promise to come again, but with a promise also to save all who will turn from their sin and turn to him. So, hey, simply put, in your life, don't make it about the pastor. Now, listen, have a good pastor, love your pastor, respect your pastor, take notes from your pastor, all those kind of things, but don't have all your hope, trust, and faith for your future in your past. Not in the pastor. Have it in the master. It's all about Jesus. Hey, have a great day. God bless you. See you next time.